So Vice recently put out a special titled The Dangerous Rise of Andrew Tate. It's got over 2.2 million views in 10 days. And of course, we gotta react to it. All right, so I've got Taylor here with me.
Top G in the house, ready to bring that Tate speech.
And Cam in the producer's bay.
What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be talking about the dangerous rise of Andrew Tate. Have either of you guys been radicalized by Andrew Tate? You are white males.
I am a magna cum laude graduate of Hustlers University. I'm just kidding. I don't think that's how they do it. I wouldn't call it, definitely not radicalized.
Okay, and Cam?
No, I've not been radicalized by Andrew Tate.
Well, that's good. For a very cheap $49 a month, I think you guys can sign up for Hustlers University, which is insane. $50 a month. You better be giving me, I don't know. I don't even know. I have no idea what you better be giving me for $50 a month, but it better be something good. I better be top G alpha status walking out of that school, because out of that online school. And hopefully we'll get into what Hustlers University is and what to expect from it in this Vice special report on Andrew Tate. Without further ado, let's watch.
Do you ever wonder why some people who you've never heard of before all of a sudden appear everywhere? Andrew Tate! Andrew Tate is an Anglo-American kickboxer turned influencer whose extreme misogynist videos have helped make him the most viral man in the world.
Bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her up by the neck. Shut up, bitch!
What did he say?
On December 29th, he and his brother were arrested by Romanian police as part of a rape and human trafficking investigation.
The Matrix has attacked me.
A few months before their arrest, I was in Romania trying to get access to their so-called secret society, the War Room.
I did not know they had a secret society called the War Room. This is kind of like Fight Club. It's got Fight Club energy going on.
The first rule of Fight Club is...
And I seriously never heard of this before. The War Room attached to Andrew Tate. So hopefully they get more into this. But I see two men fighting in front of another group of men. Very Fight Club.
The War Room is the most powerful network on the face of the planet today.
Andrew Tate.
To get inside, I had agreed to endure a professional cage fight in Romania.
I know he's going to lose, but wow, he's actually in there.
Along with 100 Tate superfans.
Did he just say to get into the War Room, he agreed to do a cage fight?
It literally is Fight Club.
It literally is Fight Club. Oh, yeah. I mean, wow. That's a dedicated journalist, by the way. I will say. And I think I recognize this guy from other Vice documentaries, but I'll wait till they show his face. I don't know for sure.
We shouldn't be slaves. We shouldn't be working 9-to-5 jobs.
I need to grow. I need to get better. I need to evolve.
I'm not tough on myself. Nobody else will be. That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
This shiny hole. Hold on to it.
What I found out...
My plan was to sow anarchy.
...is that this recent arrest appears to be just the tip of the iceberg.
This is definitely a hit piece.
I don't care.
The real story...
We've clearly conquered the internet.
...began years ago.
There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
That didn't age well. There's not a single female complaining. I don't know what he's saying that in reference to, but that aged like milk, if it's what I think it's in reference to.
Ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate. He was sweet and I guess vulnerable to being brainwashed by Andrew Tate and his cult.
People don't know what he's done.
It's getting real.
If you haven't heard of Andrew Tate yet, it's only a matter of time before he pops up on your newsfeed. His videos have been viewed over 11 billion times, and in July he was more Googled than Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump. Wow. He's been called the king of toxic masculinity.
He has said that rape victims should, quote, bear responsibility for being raped.
We're about to enter his compound in Romania, which was raided earlier this year as part of the rape and human trafficking investigation that led to his arrest in 2022.
Is that true that you sequestered an American girl?
She's not even pretty. This girl's average. She's ugly. I don't have time for this bullshit.
You know, I just can't tell with, I don't know, so far not good. Obviously, this so far it does seem like somewhat of a hit piece, but at least they're using his actual words. I'm I really don't have much commentary yet because we haven't gotten into the bulk of it. I do recognize the main guy who's doing the interviews for this documentary. He did one on Wim Hof for Vice a few years back, which I thought was great. So let's see what sort of energy he holds with this one.
What about the rape accusation?
That's not true at all.
Hello, is this Andrew Tate's house? I'm Matt.
Okay.
Hey, hello.
Just a second to have a confirmation from
Stacked.
Mr. Tate.
Heavy
Okay,
security.
cool. Yeah, you just let me know when we're allowed.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Of course, there's girls everywhere.
Hello, hello.
Good to see you.
This place is giant.
Yeah, I can give you a quick tour. I can't show
Okay.
you a lot of it. A lot of it's like off limits, but I can show you some of it. Gee, come bite them. Show them how scary you are.
Is this the normal level of security you have for your house every day, or is this just for us?
This is the normal level of security I have in my house every day. I'm prepared for all eventualities. It's better to be paranoid. I kind of like cars.
I can tell, yeah.
This door leads to... I can't take you in there. That's classified.
Is this what men want? Is this what you guys want your future compounds to look like?
I mean, it's a dope looking compound. I wouldn't say no. Would I run a ring of cam girls to get there? Maybe, probably not, but you know.
No. Wouldn't be your first business venture.
No. Not my first one.
This is not the compound for me. I would not want to live here so far. But yeah.
Up on there, I can't take you in there either. It's classified. You do know if you go to any off-limit areas like security, you're going to intercept. So when I point classified, I'm basically saying don't make them put a gun in your face.
Got it.
TV, which I never watch. World title belts. I was 4-time kickboxing world champion.
And what's this painting over here?
That's my brother.
Who else lives here? Is it just you?
No, I live here with my brother. I think you get the best version of yourself if you live with other competitive men. I don't have loser friends. I like sitting down with people and discussing how we can make money from the conflict in Ukraine. That's what I enjoy. I don't want to talk about TV.
Did he just...
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Hi,
but
he said interesting. Okay, cool. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that because these are two dramatically different. From what I know of the few videos that I've seen of this guy, Mark, who works for Vice, he's just like a very calm, even-tempered man. And of course, Andrew Tate is like, come at you all the time. I don't know if I want to even call him alpha, but just like very direct. So it's going to be a clash of two very distinct energies here.
You know what this reminds me of is when they went after Trump for like, oh, you don't pay your taxes, you don't pay your taxes. And he was like, yeah, I don't pay my taxes because I'm smart. And none of these politicians that do either. You know, he just kind of owned it and said the thing you're not supposed to say. And so that comment about, I want to sit down and talk about how I can profit off the war in Ukraine. On its face, it's like, wow, that's really offensive. But when you know, I think the reason why people gravitate toward that is because they're like, well, all these other people are profiting off the war in Ukraine and people are inserting themselves into that conflict to benefit for themselves, not out of benevolence. So he's just saying the quiet part out loud and being unapologetic about it, which, you know, I'm not saying that I endorse that, but it is, you see where that appeal is.
Oh, of course, 100%. It's exactly with what people got from Donald Trump of just being facially honest about the things that you're doing. And he's like, I mean, there's no ill will towards anybody. I'm just doing this because I care about myself and I care about me. And I want to have a better life for myself, which there are plenty of people like that. So makes sense.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. I'm Matt. Georgia, good to meet you. What are you up to, Georgia?
Working.
Yeah, they're like, leave her alone.
The woman I'm trying to speak to, Georgiana Nogho, would also later be arrested with Tate in December.
Georgiana, 2 coffees,
Fascinating.
please.
Accused of assisting him in his human trafficking operation.
Hey, how's it going? Hi. Hey, how are you? What are these guys up to?
Conquering the world, my friend.
Through what means?
I run Hustlers University, which is now currently the biggest online educational platform in the world. We've grown extremely fast. We have 110,000 students inside of a year.
110,000 students inside of a year, paying $49 a month. It's a lot of money. Wow.
Hustlers University.
For $49 a month, Andrew Tate's online Hustlers University promises to teach his millions of followers the secrets of modern wealth creation, from crypto trading to drop shipping.
No big deal.
It's giving Ty Lopez. I'm not going to lie. I've not logged into Hustlers University and certainly have not paid the fee, monthly fee for this. Is this something we should do as a channel? Do we need to pay
I was about
for
to say the
Hustlers
same
University?
thing.
Do I need to enroll myself as a student to see what actually is going on here?
I'm sorry. I thought you were going another direction. I thought you were saying, should we start our own unapologetic university? Because I'm like, apparently there's buku money to be made in this type of thing. So I don't know, Cam. I think we should get to work on building it. We can have our little battle stations like those guys do.
It's a Discord server. Just slam a paywall on our server.
Absolutely not.
Hustlers University.
I'm not going to be stealing money from you guys for an inferior product that it probably does not provide education. Although it might. I haven't seen this Hustlers University. I don't know what his lesson plans look like. And if it has to do with teaching people how to drop ship and do crypto exchanges and stuff like that, okay, well then maybe there's something to that. I would love to see the graduation rate and the success rate of the students enrolled in Hustlers University. That's what I want to know. Somebody needs to do an audit of Hustlers University just for their success rate.
It's like when I was in karate class when I was like 13, and it was basically a scam. They just, as long as you pay the money your parents do, you get the next belt after X amount of months. Even like, you know, the super out of shape kids who would like throw their fist real lazily or whatever and not really barely participate in the class, they'd be like graduating right next to me. I'm like, is this real? I was trying really hard. Is this really? Anyways, so I'd bet it's one of those things where if you pay, you're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, you would think, but who knows? Who
knows?
Hold off. You guys let us know what you want to, if you want us to sign up for this. I don't know if I want to, whatever.
Just the biggest online school in history.
Is this a sharp sword or is it kind of a decorative sword?
I did a Tate speech about why I have this sword. A Tate speech is like my YouTube channel, Tate Speech.
Yeah.
And I talked about how the number one problem with the world is that not enough men walk around their houses with swords.
Mm-hmm. That's up there for sure.
Because if more men walk around their houses with swords, so many of the world's issues could be fixed. But you have to extrapolate it. Okay. For example, so the woman panics, she sees something on TV, the man comes home, she's like, oh, we gotta start wearing a mask. Da-da-da. If the man walked around with a sword, and she's like, put a mask on, he'd be like, I'm brave, I don't need a mask. I'm a commander. Fuck you. It's just a symbol of empowerment. You got your sword, your wife starts talking, you're like, shut up, I decide what I do. Be quiet. Cook.
Is this what you're doing at home, Nashville, Taylor?
Oh yeah, this is the new domestic life over here. It's been great. My sword's actually just in the other room. I forgot it right now.
Oh my gosh. You know what? There are men like this. Obviously, there are men like this. He's very followed. He's very famous. People like what he has to say. And I can see with some of the things he said, like if I really like try to look into it and try to give him good grace for the things that he's saying, I'm like, I get what you mean. You want to be a commanding force in your household. You want to take on that traditionally masculine role. But he takes on this caricature. And it's very much a caricature. It's a character that he takes on, because you'll see sometimes when he's streaming, he's all the way up here and then the camera's cut off and he's down here. So it's just too much for me. It's too much. It's certainly not attractive for me. I'm gonna be honest. And if a man that I knew was enrolled in Hustlers University or like was watching Andrew Tate every day, I wouldn't be, unattracted to him because, oh, it's misogyny and it's so horrible and how you treat women, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, it's not a good look for me personally. But there are clearly plenty of women who are attracted to this.
Yeah, and just another thought there. We talked with Zuby a little bit about Tate when he was on the podcast, and one of the phrases that he used is you eat the meat and spit out the bones. And to the degree that the idea that Andrew Tate is trying to convey there is, you should be the master of your domain. You should be the one to answer the door when there's a threat. You should be the one to have, ownership over your home and want to be the protector and all that. Those are good sentiments, but when it spills over into you should just wield the power that you have as in your masculine power around to make everyone cater to your whims and to, enforce your preferences on everybody else. That's where it spills over into like the quote unquote toxic masculinity territory. And that's where it becomes unhealthy. But the problem is in society, no one is saying the first part. No one is saying that it's okay to be the master of the house. It's okay to embrace your role as a man. It's okay to be the protector. And no one's telling young men that you're okay to do that. And so they're going to go get the meat and the bones from Andrew Tate because they can't get the meat from anywhere else.
Yeah, but the bones get you arrested.
Damn!
Yeah. That's what we've seen so far. And what's going to be really interesting, especially with obviously him being arrested in Romania and all these criminal charges that are being brought against him, which I believe is rape, human trafficking, and creating an organized crime group. So these are all the different things that he's now being charged with in Romania. What could be his downfall, I will say, I'm not going to say that it's going to be, is how much he's talked about this on the internet, and clips like that where he's talking about you keep the sword so that when your wife tells you to do something, you tell her to shut up and you threaten her or whatever. That's what's going to be the downfall here, because we can get into the allegations and the lover boy method and his way of getting girls to come to Romania and engage in pornographic activities and all this different stuff. And you can talk about the point that girls willingly went to him. It could be under a guise, though. You don't know why or what they went there for. We'll find that out in the investigation. But if you have all this incriminating footage of you talking about how you don't let girls leave, you don't let them go to the club, you don't let them do whatever they want to do, you have a sword in your household to tell them to shut the F up and to follow whatever it is that you say, guess what that looks like when you have a woman accusing you of keeping you in her household? It starts to look like human trafficking. So I'm not making any accusations that he has done these things, but I'm telling you where the connections are being made, and probably by law enforcement.
Andrew's unashamed, misogynistic, and violent views so far seem to match his YouTube persona. But to find out how he's translated those into viral fame, I accept an invite onto the Tate Brothers podcast, Emergency Meeting, which is also a chance to get acquainted with his brother Tristan.
Welcome to Emergency Meeting, episode 13. We have a special guest, Matt Shea, who is internationally renowned and respected. He's a folk singer.
Oh, it's Matt, or is it Mark? Matt?
Andrew's invited his mate on our show without my consent. I'm just going to have to bite my tongue and listen to you guys talk most of this emergency meeting. Otherwise, I'm going to walk off.
Matt, can you introduce yourself? Tell them about your singing career. Tell them where you're from, etc.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a folk singer at all in the slightest. No, sorry.
What?
Are you calling my brother a liar?
You lied to me.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen the clown that hides from gay people?
Have
you seen him?
No, I haven't seen the clown that hides the gay people.
So you've never seen him?
No. Is he here somewhere?
Strange. Well, yeah, he's right here. I see him.
I see him.
All right, let's be nice to our vice friend. So let me be nice to him before he does a hit piece.
This is definitely a hit piece. I've warned my brother that this is a setup, and this is what everyone.
I don't care. I'm uninterested. I've clearly conquered the internet. I'm clearly unstoppable. I'm like the board.
You've invited the liberal news media.
Just look at him sitting in the middle. He's so uncomfortable. They have this really like dominating energy that makes you just like want to sit in a ball and not be present. And I don't know if that's because I'm viewing this from like a female perspective. Would you guys feel comfortable in this room?
Not if I was there from Vice trying to do
a
slanted piece on him. But, you know, this guy's walking into the den of the lion there. So you got to come prepared for it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll use you guys as my my levelers for whether or not I'm uncomfortable because I'm a woman or whether or not I'm uncomfortable because this is uncomfortable. Because it just feels really uncomfortable.
They can all come. Just because I'm wearing a gun, I'm violent. Is that how it is? Just because I got knives all over the table and I'm a kickboxing world champion, I'm violent.
If you are wearing a gun and you have knives, that does make you a little bit violent.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It makes me security aware.
I don't want to sing a song.
I haven't
sing like you promised. It's a setup. I won't kick Vice out of my house. I think
a few more minutes, or are we done with it?
No. You can sing now, or you're off the pod.
During an ad break, Andrew breaks character.
30-second break. Chat shit. Another 5 minutes, and we'll get you out of here. You can talk shit back. You can annoy us if you want.
Don't worry, no, I'm just not very good. I'm not very good at talking shit.
We've had a long career. We have to do our normal broadcast. Okay. Kick him off the pod. Cool, man. Have fun, guys. Yeah.
Bro, this is going to be the worst documentary about us.
What they gonna say?
I don't know.
He has lots of cars and money. All the women love him. He's sexist.
Oh my gosh.
Please don't put that on the internet.
Honestly, is an ego like this blissful? Like, do you just feel good all the time? Or like, I wonder what this man actually feels like. I would love to sit in his brain for 24 hours and like see what's floating around in there. Like, is it actual pure like ego and just feeling good about yourself all the time? Or is there a deep level of insecurity within his brain? I have no idea.
Yeah. No. Like at what point do you stop performing the character and you just kind of you start believing that the character that you're portraying is actually who you are, and you know it becomes harder to separate that, because he clearly changed gears like the Vice guy said whenever the cameras were off there for a second, and he did take on a different energy for the cameras, but the character that he plays is so convincing that I wonder if he's actually like feeding off of that to his real self, and that's becoming that.
Yeah, I think so. And we've had people on the show who've interviewed Andrew Tate, and they're like, yeah, well, when I interviewed Andrew Tate, he came in and was very calm and asked me, like, what level am I allowed to be at today? Can I be a 10 on your show? Is your show more of a 6? Is it more of an 8? And then they would tell him, you know, you can say this, this, and that, and maybe don't go into this, and maybe don't be as aggressive on this. And he'll go, okay, got it. And then the cameras turn on and he turns it on to whatever level you have agreed. So there's clearly, you know, some playing to camera, which I believe he admits to, and he has admitted to on several occasions. And that can start to distort your reality if you're two different people when a camera's on and when a camera's off. And I can't imagine how that bleeds over into each other.
Who cares, right? Whatever.
Within minutes of being on their show, the Tate content machine snaps into action. Oh, yeah. Wow. Already.
You promised to sing to me. If you think I won't kick Vice out of my house, you can sing now or you're off the phone.
Tate brothers embarrass Vice reporter.
Actually, I take that back. I want to make sure that my army is fighting, ethically and following the
18,000 likes, 246 comments, 66 reshares. Oh, I accidentally liked it.
If you had to go to war, did you call your friends?
Let's see what people are saying. Tate win, as always. I'm impressed how easily he runs over weak men's arguments. It isn't Tate posting all these videos, so who are all these people? Tate Brothers Embarrassed Vice Reporter was posted by a fan account that has 58,000 followers and 3.9 million likes, and is just posting loads of videos every single day. Right in the description of his account, it says, looking to level up your life, start here. It's a sign-up link to the Hustlers University. Another account. And again, a link to the Hustlers University. He's got a clever formula here. It turns out a big part of Hustlers University is an affiliate marketing scheme where boys as young as 13 are instructed to share controversial videos of Andrew with links to the Hustlers University underneath. If someone signs up through your link, you get 48% of their subscription fee. By financially incentivizing 110,000 students to share his content online, Andrew has essentially built an army to make him rich and famous in a very short space of time. And he's tactically avoiding the impact of social media bans because it isn't Andrew himself posting, it's his legion of fans.
It's like those Facebook moms that you see and they have them, they're like, hi moms, hi mom community. Today we're going to be talking about these, these protein bars that I'm taking now. It's really having me lose weight. I'm getting my previous body back before the kids, and I'm now selling these. So if you want to buy some, let me know. Also, if you want to become a salesperson, call me up. We're making that passive income. It's just like that. But Andrew Tate's style is like, post my videos and get as many follows as you can and get people to sign up for Hustlers University and you'll get the benefit through this, this, and that, which is what a lot of very famous YouTubers and influencers are doing now. Sneeko does that sort of stuff. You'll see a lot of YouTube content and TikTok content where it's like, this is not even the person who's in the video featured sending this stuff. It's just like content farming all over the place. So you can say it's exploitation. You can say it's smart. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on Andrew Tate's model, but clearly it works.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's genius. If you're a fan of Tate and you really sincerely believe in his message, now you can profit off of working directly for him and spreading the message yourself and getting views on the content that you believe in. And then if more people resonate with it and want to sign up because of your efforts, then you profit off of that directly. I mean, so much is about incentives. We talk about capitalism, socialism. Capitalism works because it correctly aligns with people's incentives, and that's why there's energy in the system. And that's you can't knock Tate for at least setting up this system. And it's genius because, like he said, he gets around posting himself and being threatened to be banned. We experience that all the time. We will post clips on TikTok, start to build an account and get striked, and then the algorithm kills it and we're not able to continue to build that account and upload. And I mean, and part of me is envious of having an army. Maybe we can make an Ominous Imp army who can post your content all over the interwebs.
Do not. I do not want an unapologetic affiliate
We'll give you 49% of the revenue, a better deal than Tate instead of 48.
Please, no.
But I do respect the game. Obviously it's like sketchy. Yeah. It's like I'm reminded, like you said, of those friends I haven't seen since high school or whatever that were connected on Facebook, and you get the DM and they're like, "Taylor, how have you been the last 12 years? Cool. Right. So do you have life insurance? Would you like to sign up for this? Oh, by the way, you could also earn money like I am. I'm doing great now." It's like, okay. No,
since high school, I started a fitness journey, and I couldn't have done it without this protein supplement.
It's belly wraps.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Okay.
All I'm doing is saying that the shit that everyone thinks isn't allowed to say. So that's the reason I'm all big on the internet.
I'm starting to wonder whether he's just a living meme.
You're a loser because your mentality is loserish.
Some kind of viral marketing campaign to swindle money from confused young men.
You've never had the life I have, ever.
Or if he really believes what he says.
All I am offering is the truth.
Andrew first appeared on our screens as a reality TV star.
I've never been in a situation in my life so far in my 21 years where I really want something and didn't get it.
He had found an arena where controversial personalities thrive.
I have to manipulate a lot of people to win.
But something happened when Andrew was on Big Brother, one of the biggest reality TV shows of all time.
This is Big Brother. Due to events in the outside world, Andrew has had to leave the Big Brother house.
He was reportedly removed from the program when a video surfaced of him slapping his ex-girlfriend and then beating her with a belt.
Bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen? No. Did I say it?
Public outrage simmered down after Andrew released a video of his ex, claiming it was all part of a so-called kinky game.
It was just pure game. It's just what we used to do.
But what the public didn't know, and what we can now reveal, is that around the time that Andrew was playing Truth or Dare in the Big Brother pool, the UK police had informed the production company that he was under investigation for 2 incidents involving other women. One of rape, and a further of physical assault. In May 2021, Tate made reference to his arrest in an appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I will say, if you're like the ex-girl came out and said, oh, that's just what we're into, that's just what we do, hopefully she's telling the truth and that's fair, whatever. When you're into that sort of stuff or whatever, you, as a man, you best believe you should be choosing wisely what type of girl you do that with. Oh my goodness, because I can only imagine how quickly the lines get blurred on something like that and how quickly you can mess up your whole life. Even if somebody consented to do that with you, you better choose the right person. Because especially with a video like that getting out, even out of context, you're in for a rough roller coaster on that.
I was like, who are you? And they're like, you're under arrest for a suspicion of assault of this dumb hoe. And I'm like,
wait, this is dumb hoe?
They didn't, but I'm going to protect her anonymity because I'm a nice guy. Dumb hoe.
During the same period, the Tate brothers were recruiting women for a webcam sex business and creating the first of their many online courses teaching other men how to do the same.
Over 50% of my employees were actually my girlfriend at the time. None were in the adult entertainment industry before they met me.
I am her everything. It doesn't matter if I fuck someone else because I'm her everything. She has nowhere else to go.
It was called the Tate PhD, or Pimping Hoes degree.
She was a fucking hoe, and I spotted it instantly because she didn't humble herself when she was supposed to.
You're gonna need
and I'm glad I didn't
this.
waste any more time on her because she's never going to be doing like my other girls do, living in my house, letting me fuck other women, remaining loyal, and fucking bringing me coffees and doing as I say.
Andrew has closed down the Pimping Hoes degree to focus on the Hustlers University.
Luke, your screen's compromised, yeah? So keep it super fucking vanilla.
But with a historic rape allegation in the UK, and the Romanian police now looking into him for rape and human trafficking, I want to find out more about his methods of recruiting women.
Oof. And I think this is where the lover boy method thing is going to come up, because he talks about, you know, creating a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship with women and then somehow enticing them to do online content, which, again, my goodness, if this is your way for building wealth, building relationships, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're quite literally asking for something bad to happen to you because you're entering a situation that is just totally unsavory. Lines are blurred, water's muddied, and if you do something like that and make it out on the other end, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you at one point say that the girls who started as your girlfriends and then work for the webcam industry, 100% of the profit goes to you?
I think in a lot of households in the world today, the man is in charge of the investments. I think that's not an uncommon thing. Tell me a view I have that you think is genuinely insulting or destructive to society. I'd like to hear it.
You prefer younger women who are 18 or 19 because you can leave an imprint on them?
No, when I say leave an imprint, I mean that. I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that, like, if I get her, I can brainwash her. I'm not trying to say that. If you meet a girl who's 22 and you're her second boyfriend, she's probably like a nicer person, less jaded, less upset, less suspicious.
So you like to be in a position of power?
It's not being in a position of power. It's about, I enjoy to show her amazing things. You're trying to attach things to the situation which aren't true.
5 years ago, you said rape is a terrible thing, but if you put yourself in a position to be raped, then you should bear some responsibility for that.
Okay, so first, we agree that rape is a terrible thing. Point I'm trying to make is the best way to prevent yourself from being raped is to have a degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in positions to be raped, as opposed to standing there saying that rape shouldn't happen or men raise our boys better. You know what else shouldn't happen? Robbery. I want the freedom to walk down the road with $1 million in cash.
Is it fair to compare the desire to walk around with £1 million in cash to someone wanting to just walk around their own city at night?
Well, female beauty is extremely valuable.
I mean, when that one, I think what a lot of it is people taking words and like misconstruing them, or at least misunderstanding what the main message he's trying to get across is. It's very much like what we talked about in the feminism episode we did from Jubilee, where the girls were saying, how dare you ask me what I'm wearing? And we get that because you don't want to imply that you're blaming the person who has gone through this horrific, traumatic event. And by no means are you to blame for that. The person who committed the act is to blame for that. But also, we should educate ourselves on what are the best circumstances to put ourselves in to where maybe that will not happen to us. And to not be able to have those two conversations at the same time is just a disservice to women and just going to put you in positions that could be very scary for you. And his comparison or analogy for getting robbed, you know, am I going to go walk around in Watts with a Rolex on my wrist? Probably not. And that's not to say that you should be blamed if you do get your Rolex stolen. You didn't create the scenario for it to be stolen, but you did put yourself in an unsafe position.
Of course, female beauty is extremely valuable.
I made sure that Taylor and Cam did not comment on that because they are white males and therefore unable to comment on anything like that.
Appreciate it.
Immediately gets clipped for TikTok, that one.
In the eyes of men who seek to exploit it.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do.
What's even more like, I'm not even really fascinated in the life of Andrew Tate because I basically know the general background on it. We know the position that he's in. We know that he's currently been arrested for rape and organized crime and human trafficking, and he may go down for it depending on what information they find and how muddied the waters are when it comes to consent with the situations he was in with these girls. What I am more fascinated by is the followers of Andrew Tate. And I wish this had been a documentary where, like, maybe he went to a conference where all these men gathered and interviewed the men who are following him instead of going back and forth with Tate over things that he said, because that's been done a million times before. And not to knock this guy for creating this, because clearly people want to see it. Over 2 million views in 10 days. So people want to know what this guy's life is like. But I feel like I've got a general sense of that. He's not a person I would watch, not a message that I would take in, at least not with not even a grain of salt, pillars of salt taking in his message. So yeah, I just would like to hear from people who follow him, because I'm more concerned with how he was able to build such a big audience. Like, what are people starved for that this is what they want to see? And I have a general idea of that, but I would love to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Have you heard the term lover boy before?
The lover boy method?
Yeah. Romantically involving yourself with a woman and then making money off of her in some sort of sex-adjacent industry.
Firstly, I would call the webcam industry far closer to psychology than sex. The webcam industry has prevented more male suicide than any group of therapists, any action group, any charity ever would, right?
Is that true? How can you measure that?
Well, it's not about measuring, it's about my personal experience.
One of the concerns that people have about that
method is that let me correct you, because I'm a professional.
Is that it's similar to, or people might consider that a form of grooming.
Okay, so I'm a professional, so I have to change what you just said. I have to at least challenge you on it. Nobody's concerned about anything that happened 10 years ago when a bunch of girls got rich. There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
Didn't age well. Now that we've got context, that didn't age well because you have multiple females complaining now. But we'll see. Again, you move overseas willingly. You come into his house willingly. You, I assume, start making these videos willingly, and then it crosses over into the territory of you feeling regret or feeling like you've been forced into this, not being able to leave. And those three things are very, very different. Also very hard to decipher from an investigator's perspective. So you're going to have a he said, she said situation here, and they're going to have to hammer out the details about whether or not these girls were forced or whether or not they did it willingly, at what point they were able to leave, how open he was to letting them leave, was there resistance there, was there any force? So lots of things to answer, and I am not in a position to make a claim as to what he's done, but the allegations are there, and hopefully we'll find out as it's investigated.
Andrew says no woman has complained about him personally. He won't let us speak to the women who work for him, so for now it's difficult to verify this claim. But I have spoken to many women who complain about the effect Andrew's rhetoric is having on their lives. To protect them from harassment...
Again, I want to hear from the boys. I don't want to hear from the women who are being affected. I've heard the same thing over and over. He's a misogynist, he's violent, my boyfriend was radicalized. Okay, where's the boyfriend? I want to talk to the boyfriend.
Yeah. I've agreed not to name them.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate to the point of threatening to release revenge porn unless I took back what I said on social media against his sexist, misogynistic views.
It's like a virus, the things that he's spreading. The scariest thing is I have no idea if the next guy I meet could be an Andrew Tate fan.
As a teacher,
you could ask him.
There are boys
you could date him and vet those questions, like that's literally a part of the process of choosing a partner, is figuring that out, and maybe ask some probing questions, maybe, withhold yourself from him until you build up that level of trust and gradually work your way toward that. Like, you can figure out where someone's at. That's a really unfair way of framing it, is I don't know if the next guy I'm going to meet is an Andrew Tate. I have no way of you have no way of knowing that, really.
Right. Just be at dinner. So, do you got any swords in your house? Wait for his answer there. Yeah, there's certainly many probing questions you could ask a man to figure out where his sensibilities lie. Come on now.
Vulnerable, and they're sort of going to go into the real world carrying those violent views with them.
I'm 14. The boys at school my age think that it's okay to say horrible things like women are man's property and they get to do what they want with them. Makes me really disappointed in my generation.
You should be. That is disappointing.
Andrew's views represent a new era in modern misogyny.
Start talking to some bitches and say, me and my man are gonna fuck you.
Where you can now not only talk openly about subjugating and objectifying women, but doing so actually garners millions of committed fans.
They don't believe the level that you can operate at when you're actually a G.
The most hardcore of them have traveled here to Romania to join the War Room.
The War Room is a fraternity.
That's at $4,000, $4,497. I wonder on what basis you're paying that. Wow. Okay, now we're going to figure out what this War Room is.
We're a brotherhood which is designed to inspire the best from our brothers. They have to have the mentality and the pedigree to survive. There's tests, and if you do them, you can stay inside.
To Andrew Tate.
To Andrew Tate. I can't think of a more soy position to be in as a man than to be sitting around a dinner table toasting your red wine to Andrew Tate. I'm not going to lie. Even if you do think Andrew Tate is masculine and some of the stuff that he says is probably going to bring about a better life as a man, cannot think of something more emasculating.
Andrew's fraternity is a small group of wealthy and powerful men who all stand to gain significantly from the expansion of his empire. This inner circle is not happy that I'm here. After our testy exchange this morning, Andrew invites me to watch him train.
Have you ever boxed before?
No. But it turns out he's planning on teaching me a lesson.
Who's got spare gloves?
There you go. I appear to have unintentionally walked into a situation where Andrew Tate is going to train me how to box.
Punch me.
Well, kudos to him for just going for it and doing it.
Punch me. Knock out. Oh, look, you're bleeding already. It's only round one. We've only warmed up. Keep going, bro. We've got 10 more rounds.
No fucking way.
I meet and get punched in the face by the inner circle of the war room. In the world Andrew is creating, not only are women to be subjugated,
Sorry, that almost felt like I got knocked out.
but men defined by their capacity to inflict violence.
Okay. Tap out.
You stopped. You were like, all right, pause, time out. Like, if that were having a street fight, would someone stop? No, so that's your reaction. I need to fight back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Ugh, gross. Like, leave him alone. He's there to do a freaking piece on you guys. Like, and I mean, again, kudos to him for actually saying, okay, I'll put on the gloves. We'll go ahead and do this. I'm here to do a piece on you, but I'll enter the ring and start fighting you guys. And he seemed to have lasted for quite some time. But my goodness, to say, well, if you're in a real street fight, what are they going to do? They're going to stop fighting? Okay, we're not in a real street fight. I'm here with Vice. I've got a freaking cameraman with me. Leave me alone. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's definitely a man in the arena. Like a little bit of respect you got to give to this journalist for jumping in there with these guys. That's got to be unpredictable. But at the same
never
time,
boxed before.
Yeah, but you're also like you're in a boxing class. I mean, you're gonna get tagged a little bit. You got to be somewhat prepared for that, in my opinion.
Didn't sign up for that. You shouldn't have to be prepared. If you're doing a piece on somebody, you shouldn't have to be prepared to fight some random men.
You didn't have to say yes. You didn't have to put the gloves on. But once you got the gloves on,
I
you're
know.
engaged in a sparring thing. Like you might get hit. But
Yeah, but he's saying, okay, I've got hit. I'm tapping. We're done. Which is what
Which
you
is
have
fine.
the ability to do in a fight. Okay, I'm just
but
saying.
but they're also going to
That's
lecture
crazy.
you, jar at you a little bit. These are the inner circle alpha male. That in their own minds. That's how they're going to behave.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to fault them too much for it.
Yeah, I guess. Ugh.
The War Room is a network. We have 10 meetings a year. The next one's going to be in the mountains of Transylvania. You could do it, but I don't know, my friend, if you're prepared.
We've left Bucharest and we're driving into the Carpathian Mountains to meet Andrew and his inner circle for the War Room, which is going to involve something called the test.
I've made it into Andrew Tate's war room, where 100 of his biggest fans have flown in from all across the world, each paying $5,000 to have their manhood tested by the one they refer to as Commander. None of us know what he has in store.
I welcome you all to the test. There is a cage fighting event, and every single one of you has been paired against a professional fighter. You will fight in the cage on national television, and it's a real fight. There are two paths you can go down. You can agree to fight, or you can decide that it's not for you. You have 1 hour to think and make a decision.
I'm not a man, right? But I imagine there's something appealing to this. Men like to take on challenges and do things that are pretty hardcore, far more than women like to, at least in this arena of things. When you think about like the military and the training and the boot camp that goes into that. And so these are tough trials that men go through. And if you don't have that in your natural life, you'd probably seek it out elsewhere. And this would probably be a perfect environment if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to fight and get out your aggression and be, pushed into manhood, this might be something that you want.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, honestly, of like tapping into a lot of men's like innate desires. Like you watch the movie Braveheart and see the speech, or the movie Band of Brothers, and just see the fraternity among those soldiers and the challenges that they face. And there's something about manhood that you crave, that brotherhood, you crave the challenge, you crave to have something to fight for, someone to look up to who's like a strong leader and someone that, and because I think there's something in you as a man that wants to be validated in your manhood. So when you have that figure who's like the alpha, who's like, yes, you're good enough, you're accepted, that there's even subconsciously, that's like a very powerful idea and force that I think men innately crave. And you know, just getting that affirmation just because, oh, you're just an, you know, we talk about the world's a better place with you, and we keep going back to that. Andrew Tate's not going to tell you that. You know, you're going to have to go through the fire and go through the testing and go through the trials and like earn that respect. And the same thing, I can think of the movie Fight Club, just that fraternity around all these men who are dead inside at their 9-to-5 jobs under the fluorescent lights and feel like they have nothing that makes them feel alive. But whenever you get slapped in the face and you're in the fire, just like you see in the movies, and just like you know, that is something makes you feel alive. Like, I get the appeal of that. Now what Tate's doing though is like making an artificial reality where you can enter into this reality. Right. I'm the alpha male. You go through all my tests. Your brothers are the people who are all vying for my approval. And he's created this little ecosystem to sort of exploit the, you know, natural tendencies and cravings and desires of men, and profit off of them. But like you said, this again underscores that, like, man, it'd be really interesting to talk to some of these men who are in this, because can you say that they're, you know, not getting something fulfilling out of this? Can you say that 100% of everything bad that everything that they're getting out of this is bad? I don't know. But at the same time, there is something where you take a step back and it's like, this feels sort of cultish and weird and sort of like a, you know, alternative. It's almost like the inverse of the "Don't Worry, Darling" thing, where instead of it's a feminist fever dream, it's like a masculine fever dream.
Right. And I even with the men here, like, men, you assume, have developed a certain level of critical thinking skills, so they're able to, you know, eat the meat, spit out the bones type of thing. Even more concerning than that, or I guess even more interesting than that and fascinating than that, is like, who are the young kids watching this stuff and what are they taking away from the content? Because he's even more popular, it seems, with kids who are like, I don't know, 13 to like 17. So I wonder how much they're able to take in and spit out the BS part of it and get the good stuff out of it. That would be interesting to see.
It's going to be a hard no.
He's like, no professional fighter.
Yes, just to learn a little bit more of what happens, and then
kudos to this guy. Oh, he said he's going to pull out at some part. Never mind.
Any questions to ask me? There's no training before this fight. If you've been walking through life too lazy to fucking train, is that your problem or my problem?
Honestly, based that one comment, I will give him that.
I couldn't help overhearing some disagreement within the war room.
I think he wants to talk to you, wink, wink. What the hell are you doing? What's
It's gonna be fine, bro. We have an ambulance. We have medics. Nobody fucking knocked out. Don't worry about it.
At the center of it all was Andrew's right-hand man, Iggy Semmelweis.
Who is this? This is even more fascinating. Who is the right-hand man? What is going on?
Here I will share with you my secrets.
He's the self-proclaimed greatest hypnotist in the world.
You will learn the power of hypnosis.
And seemed to have an agenda that expanded beyond the war room itself into something larger and darker.
What?
Your sons will marry their daughters. Your daughters will marry their sons. You will create legacies. Enjoying those juicy steaks, that finer scotch, those smoother cigars.
He refused to speak to us, but it's clear that he has a big role to play in whatever the war room's real agenda is.
I just want to repeat the fact that he said your sons will marry their daughters and your daughters will marry their sons. This is getting...
Who's like... Anyway, we have no context for that snippet, so I don't know who the heck he's referring to, but this is like Bohemian Grove, Balenciaga energy, just kind of in a different realm.
It's giving spirit cooking vibes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a different realm though. Wow.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Welcome to the test.
Now is decision time. You are getting in the cage to fight a professional fighter who is trained to hurt you. Anyone who is fighting, please stand up. Anyone who is not fighting, you can stay seated, and we will begin the other program.
Just like that, a third of the room decides to get beaten up for Andrew Tate.
What happens to the people who said no?
They're doing something slightly different, describing the reasons they didn't do it.
It's probably not for Andrew Tate. It's probably for themselves. I imagine they view it as a mission for themselves. So we'll clarify that.
How that affects their life as a whole, whether they're going to make any changes in the future to be more ready for opportunities. That's where honor comes from, right? From victory.
One of the men who said no
Nothing bad there.
agrees to speak to us as long as we hide his face.
Why did you say no?
I have been in the ring before, but just sparring. But I was like, fuck, professionals and Russians, like they guys are serious. I was just too scared. So then afterwards, I felt bad about myself, and I was angry at myself because I came here to be tested.
Andrew Tate has obviously said a lot of kind of controversial things online.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
A lot of things are very controversial, but I think the bottom of his message is a very, very positive one.
Ah, see? So he's saying what many have said is that, yeah, on its face, he's very controversial, and I may not agree with the finer points that he's making. But in a broad sense, if you get to the bottom of what he's saying, I agree with it, which is, should spark the minds of so many people. Like, what is at the bottom of what he's saying? And why are so many men feeling attachment to it? Why?
And I think he also gave a clue to the why and to what is that bottom. He said, I came here to be tested. I was face to face with that test. I had some training. I wasn't sure if I was ready, and I shrunk back, and now I'm kicking myself, and I'm angry at myself for not having the courage to put myself out there and fight. And like, again, men are looking for that validation. They're looking to be tested. They're looking for something to, give that rite of passage to say, yes, you qualify, you're a man. And Andrew Tate is giving that to them in living color, very, just right out in your face. And it's understanding that appeal. And so I think that's something where it's easy to look at the surface and say, oh, the misogyny or the sexism or the, his history or all these things. But why is there an appeal? Why did my 13-year-old nephew the other day, when I saw him, say, what color is your Bugatti? Because why is that resonating with people? Why is that message, getting out there, and this personality getting out there? And he is tapping into something that is absent in our current culture, and he's not the right solution for it. He doesn't, he's not the best solution for it, but the more we ignore it, the more we're going to push people in that direction.
Yeah, and I think men are looking at generations prior to them and seeing what men had to go through and feeling no relationship to that whatsoever. There's like, they can't even fathom what men prior to them have gone through. I mean, and then you factor in the lower testosterone rates among men now in today's day and age that are just incomparable to men in decades prior. And yeah, I think they're just feeling a big disconnect from how they feel and how their bodies and biology make them feel and the world that's surrounding them. And there's nowhere to channel that.
Because if I'm not tough on myself, nobody else will be. Nobody really cares.
He just said, if I'm not tough on myself, nobody else will be. There's no society around us that is promoting a tough challenge for men anymore, where generations got that, whether they liked it or not. They were just faced with it. And he just said, nobody's going to be tough on me if I'm not tough on myself, which is perfect timing for that message.
It's about me. If I don't care about me, right? That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
People who decided this morning and people who decided at a later date here.
We have a chaperone following us. We've been told that we're not allowed to talk to anyone. What about in passing, asking people like, what single question?
Let me run this by tape before we film. No other comment.
Okay, all right. Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Our chaperone vets who we speak to and tries to heavily control our questions.
What do you do?
Show that you're not some sort of growing extremist for this.
Why did you join the war?
I don't want to be fucking stagnant. I need to grow. It's just a fundamental shift in my mindset. What I think could be bad is always good. Before the war room, I used to think, why is this happening to me? Now, what is this trying to teach me?
About Andrew Tate specifically, the things he says online, the things that get him negative publicity. Yeah. What do you think about those things?
I think he's speaking the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Interviewing under the chaperone's supervision is proving restrictive.
Yeah?
No alpha craziness. He's an animal, this one.
So we can't speak to anyone?
Okay.
Who is this mysterious chaperone anyway?
Hey, man.
Man, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man.
I was wondering if we could have a little chat. Yeah?
Suits me, man. Brought over from Dubai.
Like most war room leaders, he has a sports car.
Do you want to do the interview in here?
Yeah, I don't see why not, man.
And like most people with a sports car, he's keen to show it off.
So, what do they call you?
In these circles, sartorial or the sartorial shooter.
I'm one of the guys who manages organizational risk and security for the war room. So anyone with any criminal activity, maybe they are showing signs of being racist or sexist or any of these sorts of things, they're out straight away. We will not tolerate that.
Fascinating. So anybody who's racist or sexist or shows signs of criminal activity is out straight away.
And so how do you reconcile that with some of the things that Andrew, for example, says online?
Any claims of misogyny or the fact that he's, spreading hateful words, that's not the reality of who he is, and that's not what the War Room stands for, and that's not what he stands for. There are many clips of him out there saying, I'm not a misogynist, I provide for my women, I would stand up for my women in a violent situation.
What do you think his detractors would say about, for example, what you just said, the phrase, my woman? Do you think that they would consider that to be misogynist?
The phrase, my woman, for me, ties into the very traditional...
I don't.
No.
My man says, my woman. I'm like, oh!
The woman for whom I'm responsible, yeah.
Yeah, are you kidding? Yeah, no, not misogynist.
Values that we have.
Andrew's well known for talking a lot about his multiple girlfriends. How does that tie into this idea of a traditional relationship?
Men at certain levels can provide for multiple women. I mean, even we can go back 100 years ago, kings, wealthy men, they would support multiple families. How is that a bad thing? It's only very recently that men and women have been competing.
Where I want my girlfriend, who I love, to be a kept woman, but she doesn't. She wants to pursue a career or something like that.
Then find a different woman. Very simple.
It's very simple. If you want a woman who's going to stay home, take care of your kids, hold down your household, make sure things are put in order and help you do what you want to do, and she doesn't want to do that, and she wants to go work a career and have her life be that, then yeah, she's probably not the right woman for you.
The core belief driving the war room and what men here are seeking is a misogynist fantasy of a time when they were kings and women were subjugated.
It's not necessarily a misogynist fantasy. Like, what do you say to the women who want exactly that? Do they have a misogynist fantasy? If they say, I want a man who's going to go out and, have the sword and fight the wolf who comes to the door, and he provides for me and he works and I get to be home and I get to sit here and do whatever I want, go follow whatever hobbies I want, but I make sure that he's taken care of and I make sure our house and our children are taken care of. Do you tell her that she has a misogynist dream? Probably not. I mean, I would hope not, because the feminists claim that they want women to be able to choose whatever they want, and that's a woman's choice.
It's at the heart of what Andrew Tate is selling. Just look at the tweets of Iggy Semmelweis, his second in command.
This guy's wild.
My webcam girl is home 100% of the time, has no time nor interest in going out. She sleeps, cooks, cleans, does her shows, gives me all the money, gets railed by me and our girlfriends, then smiles, thanks me, and goes and does it again tomorrow. Welcome.
If that's what she wants and you're not forcing her, then I guess she gets to do what she wants. Not the lifestyle that I would choose, but if that's what she wants to do, that is that's the caveat there. She has to want that.
To the war room.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Now, it's quite possible this...
I think this is where we're going to stop for today. I don't know how much more of this I can watch. You guys know my thoughts on Andrew Tate. We've done many a video on him. I'm not in particular a fan of him, but I think it's important to talk about why people might be, why he's gotten such a large audience, and what's the impact that he's having on people's lives. Are they eating the meat and spitting out the bones? Are they taking down the whole thing, all the good and all the bad? And that's what we need to decipher. And we need to talk about what type of world gives way to somebody like Andrew Tate being famous, because clearly there's a crisis among men, because he is a massive role model for them. And I think there could be better role models. If I didn't think that, we'd be in a hell of a state right now. I certainly think there could be better role models for men, but this is what's happening now. We didn't get into all of his allegations and the things that he's been arrested for in Romania. And if you want us to cover this as a part 2 and go through the other half of this, because I imagine this documentary dives deeper into that, we can do that. And I'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. Let me know your thoughts on Andrew Tate. Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Do you see why people follow him? Do you not understand why people follow him? Leave that in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a new video for you guys, which is every single day. And I hope you enjoyed. I don't know how to feel after watching this. Lots of information that I did not ask for. But anyways, bye guys.